Come on.
A man arrested last week accused of fondling two female passengers on board a United Airlines flight from Newark to Buffalo, New York. Katie Campos was one of them.
He grabbed my upper thigh, in my the crotch area, and he grabbed it pretty forcefully.
A police report says that the man told the other woman he would like to kiss her. When she declined, he started stroking her leg. The man now charged with disorderly conduct. United Airlines told CNN, "We have zero tolerance for this type of behavior," and our pilot requested that local law enforcement meet the aircraft on arrival. Not enough for Campos, who tweeted, "Do better, United Airlines." She says the flight attendant did not offer her to switch seats. She had to demand it. She was then placed directly behind the harasser. The airline says because there were few empty seats, the touching continued.
At the end of the day, they didn't protect my safety or those around me, and I don't think that that's a good excuse.
Like Campos, these three women tell CNN they were sexually harassed or assaulted on commercial flights, and all of them complained the flight crew did little or nothing to help.
He grabbed my arm and my side right under my left breast, or right next to my left breast.
Ayana Hart was on a Delta flight from Los Angeles to Denver in May. She says the flight attendant was of no help.
The flight attendant said, "Oh, don't worry about him. He flies with us all the time. He's Delta Platinum."
Hart has a pending lawsuit against Delta for failing to intervene and continuing to serve him alcohol. The airline would not comment on this case, citing pending litigation, but said it takes these incidents seriously and with law enforcement investigates them.
I was dozing off when I felt a hand in my crotch and realized that the man next to me was grabbing my crotch.
Allison DeVladze filed a complaint with Delta after her flight from Seattle to Amsterdam.
There was not a clear procedure for what they should do. They asked me what I wanted them to do.
A month later, she received an email saying it's not fair when one person's behavior affects another, and as a goodwill gesture, offered her 10,000 miles.
If somebody reports a crime to an airline, that it should be flagged. It should not be treated as if it's lost luggage.
The airline told CNN, "We continue to be disheartened by the events Ms. DeVladze described."
He started to touch my leg, stroke my leg, tickle it.
Jennifer Rafian was on a flight from Newark to Phoenix. She too says the flight crew did not move her away from her harasser. Instead, the airline made an offer.
He gave me 4 $100 gift certificates for travel on an upcoming United flight. And he refused to let me talk to a manager.
But shortly after a news article about her ordeal was published, United management called to, in their words, check on her.
This message is for Ms. Jennifer Rafian. This is calling from United Airlines executive offices. I can't even imagine, what you went through when you were on the flight with the gentleman seated next to you.
At thousands of feet in the air, you can't call for help, you can't remove the problem.
Sarah Nelson is president of one of the world's largest flight attendant unions.
In my 22 years as a flight attendant, I have never taken part in a conversation in training or otherwise about how to handle sexual harassment or sexual assault.
The union surveyed nearly 2,000 flight attendants. 1 out of 5 said they've received a report of a passenger sexual assault, but law enforcement was contacted less than half the time. CNN reached out to all of the major U.S. airlines and the industry trade group that represents them. None agreed to go on camera, but all released statements with a similar message. Passenger safety and security is their priority, and they say flight attendants are trained to handle these incidents, but none gave a detailed explanation of the policies or guidelines. No federal regulatory agency tracks how many midair sexual assaults happen nationwide, but the FBI does track how many it investigates. Federal data shows a 66% increase from 2014 to 2017. The FBI says it's unclear what's behind the rise, but what is clear for these women, flight crews need to do more, because at 30,000 feet, there's no escape.